How about you? You've been. Did you see something? Did you see? Was it a surface being scratched here?
Well, look, I mean, could we expect them to win 10 games in a row at the start of the season? No, especially after losing their first 2 games of the year and fans chanting "Fire Lindy" to saying we're sorry, Lindy, but I mean,
Yeah.
in all good fun. But having said that, you certainly knew there was speed and skill last year. They couldn't get a save to save their life. You can't win in this league when you don't get a save. But did they improve their blue line dramatically? Yes, no question about it, because Dougie Hamilton's healthy, and he has been terrific. They had John Marino. We could not have expected what John Marino has brought. He hasn't been good. He's been fantastic. He's been that steady and just an incredible addition to the blue line. Jonas Siegenthaler has brought his game to a whole nother level. He's one of the best defensemen thus far in the early going at suppressing rushes and all the analytic numbers and metrics that everybody loves. He's right near the top from a defensive standpoint because he's big, he takes a lot of space, and he's mobile and uses his stick well. And I go on down the list, but when you got everybody playing on the same page, they manage the puck much better. But for me, the speed, the skill, that was coming. You could see that coming. We thought they'd be a little better this year. We didn't know what to expect from goaltending, but if these young guys, the Hugheses, the Heischers, the Bratts, took that next step, they were going to be better. And then they added Palat and Holla in the offseason, even Brendan Smith to an extent. They needed some veteran guys that know what it takes to win on a nightly basis. I always say, guys, this is a one-goal league a lot of the time. They've won a handful of one-goal games that they just couldn't win to save their life again last year. But they don't bend. They bend. They don't break when they're in trouble in their zone, and that's composure. And that's just a lot of these veteran guys. I know Palat's out for quite some time, but he had an impact right away, and just being around. And can't imagine when he returns, if it's even 2 months down the road when the games get tougher, how valuable he will be for this team. So a lot of things going right. Keep it in perspective, fellas. It's still early, as we all know, but they're feeling it, and they believe in themselves, and they're enjoying this winning.
One of the great parts of having someone like yourself on who watches his team every night is learning a bit about the people who, names I don't know, who are a big part of it, because we're all familiar with Hischier and Hughes and, Tatar, even, like a lot of these guys. But, I mean, I see Fabian Zetterlund on the first line, Dawson Mercer on the second line. Can you tell us a little bit about those two? Not players I'm overly familiar with.
Well, another big reason they're off to a good start is their balance up front. They play pretty well all 4 lines, and Nico Hischier obviously gets a little more ice than the rest, but I'll tell you, everybody plays 13-plus minutes a night, so it makes it tough for the opposition to cover a certain line or player, because Jesper Bratt's on the third line, so-called third line tonight, and he makes that line better. But guys like Zetterlund, the young guys, they always had a good prospect pool. He's been in the AHL in Utica for the last 3 years, had a little cup of coffee last year. He showed glimpses. He's got a big shot. He's got a motor that goes. He brings energy. He's got an attitude. And that's something, all these little things and pieces have added up that they need. You need to play with attitude. He's that guy that's only getting better. Jack Hughes doesn't care who he plays with. He seems to give everybody scoring chances on a nightly basis. And Dawson Mercer, even though his numbers aren't outstanding offensively yet, he had a really good rookie year. I always say with Dawson Mercer, he's just a through-and-through hockey player. And all their young forwards can play on both ends of the rink. They're complete players at such a young age. And that's something, that takes quite some time or years if a guy's just an offensive player. But for him to understand the game, so he has an impact, even if he's not getting points. But he did have a big game in Montreal, picked up a couple of assists, was a star. He's just elusive. He can skate. He's wiry. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he never seems to get himself on the tracks. Like, he's always dodging and deeking. So another guy that brings a lot of energy and emotion. And I can go on down the lineup right now, and yeah, everything's going well, so we're singing their praises, but everybody's contributing, and big reason why they're winning. You mentioned Tomas Tatar. He struggled last year, and they needed him to bring some offense. He's always been a hard worker. Well, he's having a lot of fun right now playing on that top line with Nico Hischier, and now he's getting rewarded. Now he's finishing off his chances. And the fourth line, I can go on. Those guys, not only bring energy, size, speed. Miles Wood, straight line is as fast as any guy in the league. Michael McLeod can skate, Bastian, but they've produced offense. They've scored on chances. So you shut down the top two lines, you got other guys contributing. And, fellas, that creates success, and you're going to get some wins if you've got everybody contributing.